there's deep tensions and contradictions here. The national security strategy has a big song and dance about how finally we will be narrowing, cabining, prioritizing U.S. strategic objectives, not trying to be everywhere, everything all at once. And yet, at least in this one major way, and there are others, there are new, very ambitious missions being taken on here. But at a minimum, you could say that Trump, through this document and through his behavior, is telling a clear story to the American people about how your national security is threatened by these specific things, immigration, drugs, and the like. It's coming from these specific countries, or at least a region that we can point to, and I'm aggressively going after it.
Right.
I think a question for us to just contemplate, and maybe this is for the future episode, is do the Democrats have a story like that is as clear and concrete about the changing nature of the world and how what Jake Sullivan once called a foreign policy for the middle class might unfold?
Yeah, I actually think the Democrats have moved away from that to some degree. So if you look over a 2-decade time span, it was Barack Obama who capitalized on the notion that the United States should be doing less nation building abroad and, more nation building at home. And that's one of the single best phrases in foreign policy in terms of poll testing with the American public, right?
Okay.
The American, like one of the best things you could say as a national political figure when it comes to foreign policy, time for nation building at home, enough of it over there. And so Obama kind of owned that message during his presidency. Trump came in with a version of that in a right-wing Trump frame.
Yes.
Right? So the challenges at home were different. The threats were different, but that was his sweet spot. The Biden team had their own version, which was the foreign policy for the middle class. We're going to make America's international engagements, work not just for the American people, but also for the middle and working class. And yet by the end of the Biden administration, they were running on a very orthodox foreign policy, and the whole middle class part seemed to have dropped out. And the focus was on countering Russia and China.